Um, I went and saw The Sound of Freedom. Um, Main character played by Jim. How do you say it? Caviezel. I'm probably saying it wrong. The guy who played Jesus in Passion of Christ played the main character in Sound of Freedom. And I went to go see it by myself, which I've never been to the movie theaters by myself since I've been alive. And this may not have been the best one to see alone, but I did it. One word just comes to mind is gripping. It's just so gripping. Like edge of your seat, not breathe, don't talk, kind of silence. It was like a handful of people in the theater. When right here in Bel Air we go. And it's dark. But it's so raw. And here's the thing, it's so real. It's so real. And it was very triggering to watch. It was triggering for a number of different reasons. But it's not just a movie, you guys. It's so real. And it really makes you think, how can I ever look at a child the same? How can I ever look at my children the same after watching that movie? From 13 down to 5. How can I? Like, we live in our little box of our blue skies, green grass, and wow coffee, but on the other side of the world, there's children fighting for their lives. Like, fighting for their lives. Physically and mentally, just trying to make it another day and get out the hands of a pedophile. Whew, that movie was... There's a part in the movie where they had to make this sound when they became free. And it was so beautiful. Like, it was so beautiful. They made it was like... And that's like what they would sound as freedom. And it just really makes you do nothing else but think. So if there's anything that anyone can do to save a child, to be a part of rescuing children, to stand up for child sex trafficking, anything you can do it. If something isn't right, if you see something, say something. If you got that gut feeling that something just don't look right, say something. Like, speak up. You could be changing that child's life. You could be a part of that help that child needs. Like me personally, I want to go across the country and save children, but that's just me. But I know physically I can't do that right now because I have 4 children of my own that I've got to make sure they're okay and they're healthy and they're alive and they're well. So I know that in this point of my life, I can't do that. So all I can do is spread awareness by making videos, and because I know that my videos get at least a couple views. That's all I can do. Word of mouth. Child sex trafficking is real. And the U.S. border is actually so easy to get across, is what I read. It's so easy to get children across the U.S. border, right? Like U.S. border. It's such a tough subject. It is. It brought back all my memories of sexual abuse and meeting a pimp online, and just, it brought back all the memories, and it was so triggering, but I had to fight through it because I know that I need to see this. It's real. It needs to be seen. It needs to be shown. I need to feel that rawness, and I hope you guys go out and see it too. I really do. And I hope that when you leave that theater, you don't leave the same. How can you? Especially as a parent, how can you? Like, it is so much more out here than what we see. It's so much. We have no idea how that dark web that I used to be on myself as a minor, just so dark. But I'm making my sound of freedom too. Because who the sun set free is free indeed. God's children are not for sale. There are some statistics in the movie that if you don't read it, you will miss it. So I wanted to find it myself. Child trafficking statistics. There are 27.6 million trafficked persons globally today, and almost 20% of them are children. Approximately 350,000 children are reported missing every year in the U.S. Of that total, an estimated 100,000 are being trafficked. Child sex trafficking has been reported in all 50 U.S. states. That includes Maryland, where I am. The 2021 Federal Human Trafficking Report stated that 57% of U.S. human trafficking victims were minors. The United States is one of the top destinations for human trafficking and is among the largest consumers of child sex. Human trafficking is a $150 billion per year business, more than the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL combined. It has eclipsed the illegal arms trade. If you do nothing else, make sure you pray for our children. Faith without works is dead. So if you can put your feet to work and your hands to work, not just your mouth to pray, but your hands to work, do so. Because the freedom that I'm experiencing right now, clear blue skies in my car, that's the kind of freedom we should all be experiencing, especially that of a child.
I want to thank you all for coming out and watching this movie. I'm guessing some of you are feeling sad, maybe overwhelmed, or even a sense of fear, which is understandable. But living in fear isn't how we solve this problem. It's living in hope. It's believing that we can make a difference because we can. But I want to make one thing clear. This movie you just watched isn't about me or Tim Ballard. It's about those kids. You know, Steve Jobs once said, the most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. Abraham Lincoln credited Harriet Stowe when she wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. This powerful story inspired millions to rise up and fight against slavery. I think we can make Sound of Freedom the Uncle Tom's Cabin of 21st century slavery. This film was actually made 5 years ago and wasn't released till now, with every roadblock that you can imagine being tossed in the way. And the names you see here on the screen took a stand, and they made sure this story could be shown to all of you. And now all of you have the opportunity to continue telling this story. We don't have big studio money to market this movie, but we have you, and the baton has now been passed to you. You are the storytellers that can get people to come see this film in theaters. When you come to a theater, you experience movies differently. There is no pause button, there are no distractions. We all have an experience as we watch the film together as a community. It makes it possible for strong messages like this one to take root. Sound of Freedom is a hero's tale, but I'm not talking about the character I play. It's the heroic brother and sister in this film that work to save each other. They are the true heroes. The most powerful person in this world is the storyteller. Together, we have a chance to make these two kids and the countless children that they represent the most powerful people in the world by telling their story in a way only the cinema can do. For a couple of months, while Sound of Freedom is in theaters, these kids can be more powerful than the cartel kingpins or presidents or congressmen or even tech billionaires. We believe this movie has the power to be a huge step forward toward ending child trafficking, but it will only have that effect if millions of people see it. Now, I know it's weird because we're in a theater, but feel free to pull out your phones and scan this QR code. We don't want finances to be the reason someone doesn't see this movie, so Angel Studios boldly has set up a pay it forward program where you can pay for someone else's ticket who might not otherwise see it. If you're able, we invite you to pay it forward by buying a ticket for someone else, or if your budget is tight, share the already available free tickets with as many friends as you can, or do both. Join us and millions of others as we ring sound of freedom and hope throughout the world. And just remember this, God's children are not for sale. Thank you.